Looking to stock up on high-quality Ayurvedic herbs? I've partnered with two of my trusted sources, Kerala Ayurveda and Gary and Son, to offer you 20% off their entire range of authentic products. From classical formulas to single herbs and seasonal must-haves, these are staples I use in my own practice. Use code Ojas Oasis for Kerala Ayurveda, Ojas Oasis 20 for Gary and Son. Links are in the show notes. Supporting your healing journey just got a little bit easier. In Ayurveda, nourishment isn't only about what we take in for the body, but also what we offer the heart. That's why we're honored to share Aura Cacao, a ceremonial grade cacao we've chosen as a dharmic partner for the Ojas Oasis community. Aura Cacao supports meditation, heart-opening rituals, and moments of conscious presence. As an exclusive gift for our listeners, use Ojas Oasis 20 for 20% off, and you'll find the link in the show notes. Welcome to Ojas Oasis, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets the modern being. I'm your host, Sasha Brashatsky, Ayurvedic doctor and guide on this journey into the heart of holistic wellness. Today, Erin and I dive into a foundational teaching from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, the Pancha Kleshas, 5 root obstacles that block our inner peace and keep us trapped in suffering. These 5 kleshas are Avidya, or ignorance, the root misperception that keeps us from seeing reality clearly; Asmita, egoism, our over-identification with I and our roles in the world; Raga, attachment, the clinging to pleasure that creates endless desire and intense feelings that drive unconscious reactive actions, which in turn produce karmas; Dvesha, aversion or hatred of suffering, the push against pain and discomfort that fuels reactivity; and Abhinivesha, the instinctive fear of death and clinging to life itself, which underlies so much of our anxiety. These kleshas produce duhkha, suffering, and bind the mind to cycles of desire and aversion. In other words, creating patterns and or addictions that are hard to break. Yoga's purpose is to weaken and dissolve the kleshas, leading to clarity, peace, and liberation. We explore how these kleshas show up in our daily lives, how they influence our relationships, health, and choices, and what practical tools from yoga and Ayurveda can help us recognize, release, and ultimately dissolve these mental obstacles. Let's get to our chat.
You do the dark, you can do a lot of colors, but you do the dark thing a lot, but I don't feel like I see you in the coral thing. My sister, actually, you'd probably really enjoy this, and I'm curious too how it's going to be for me, but my sister got me this thing for my birthday, this place you go in New York, and there's this whole like color analysis they do for you based on, just your features and your hair color and all of that stuff. Like
It's called draping.
Sure.
I think it's called draping.
I have to look. It was like a really nice gift. Like I honestly, I remember looking at it kind of in haste, and I need to revisit it because it's like a nice place, it seems like. But I'm like, this will be fascinating. Stop wearing this tone and wear this tone instead and see how your life changes. Or like, this lip color is good for you. Or
oh yeah, they do the hair like based on your skin tone. They tell you what the best hair color for you is, what the best makeup tones, the best like. Yeah, are you like an autumn or a spring? Like they do that. Yes, I think I want to do that too. I have no idea.
I'm excited. I mean, I have a general, it's taken me a long time to figure this out. I kind of do it by trial and error over time. I'm like, oh, that type of red does not look good, but this one does. Or like, you can tell which lipsticks and things like look good on you, but it'd be nice to have some sort of a comprehensive analysis of it, and like, here's your palette. I don't know.
Okay, but today, hello,
all
everybody.
that is to say, today you're wearing coral lipstick and you look fantastic in it.
Thank you so much.
And the peachy cheeks are good
too.
Peachy,
yeah. Yeah. Well, spring is around the corner.
Sure
already.
Is.
Already, it's nuts.
I'm in my prime already.
Yeah.
In the spring. I can feel it.
Kapha season's good for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, about 5 minutes before hitting the record button, I had a pile of note cards stacked in front of me, and I was just sifting through them, and a couple popped out, and one of them, yeah, I've been wanting to talk about this one for a long time, actually. And I love when we do go back into our YTT days and we can like channel Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Bob,
we can channel him, bless him wherever he is. And we can talk about some yoga philosophy today and dust off that old, these are important things to keep alive in our consciousness, because life just kind of keeps going, and then we kind of get drawn back into the dramas and the crazy and the chaos. So today we're going to be talking about the Pancha Kleshas. Pancha means 5. Kleshas means obstacles. And perhaps I go down the list. I name them each. I name the 5 because they're ordered specifically. And then we can start talking about whichever ones feel like resonant in the moment and what's coming up. So number 1 is avidya, which means ignorance.
Well, wait, what are these obstacles of?
Oh, obstacles on the path.
To what?
On the path.
I'm giving you all the prompts.
Yeah, totally. I would say on a path to spiritual liberation, on the path of living a peaceful, healthy, happy life, free of suffering, free of disease. When we talk about the path, usually in yoga and Ayurveda, we're talking about the spiritual path. But what does the spiritual path really mean? It means like awakening, remembering. Yoga is to join, to remember that we are in fact one. There is no separation. It's an illusion. You and I are suffering our fears, anxieties, furies, grief. It's all the same. It's connected to the same exact sources, but also our joy, our bliss. Satchitananda is, we are at our core. We are bliss. So everything just kind of, as we go through life, things begin to conceal our true nature, our prakriti. We develop this like residue, this energetic, emotional, physical, even. That's why people have high cholesterol. That's why people have all types of other chronic diseases. Why is heart disease the number 1 cause of death in pretty much every country in the world? That's astounding. It's like it's even higher than cancer rates, heart disease. So I think that part of that is probably, definitely, most likely stress related. We use the word stress, but we don't break it down into tangible, it's a lot more nuanced. There's different types of stressors.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know what I was going to say too is I think there's going to be some overlap and some connections made between what we discussed last time, which were the causes of disease.
Yeah. The spiritual path is embracing and accepting all of life. And that's very difficult to do. Very difficult. That's why we have to keep coming back to these conversations. Like, this is a lot like satsang sometimes. We're getting together. When Erin and I do episodes, it's like such a great, honestly, for me, it's a lot less pressure than when I'm interviewing somebody, because we have this baseline. We both did a 200-hour yoga training. A lot of these things are, we were like super nerdy students in the front and took a lot of notes, and it's just fun to like brush that all off and be like, it's in there somewhere. We just, we don't think about it all the time, or we're like, it'll come up maybe once in a while. But the beauty of getting together consistently and bringing these back up is that we keep it alive within ourselves. Right. And that's actually one of the ways to overcome the obstacles, is to gather with like-minded people in community and talk about, like the things that are getting in the way of our bliss. So the first one is avidya, which literally means the absence of knowledge, because the word vidya is knowledge or awareness. Avidya, so anytime you put the word a before a word in Sanskrit, it means the absence of. So avidya, not having knowledge, having ignorance, right? Not having. First of all, not even having the knowledge of the obstacles. How do you know what to avoid if you don't know what the obstacles are?
Right.
You're just going to accept that this is part of life and it's an inevitability and deal with it. And if you get emotional about it, you better toughen up and just get over it and
push through.
Yeah. And emotions are weakness and don't, like, that whole mentality of adults that have been through a lot. It's like, well, if you let yourself feel stuff, you're never going to get anything done. There's no value in it. So, but that's because people don't understand that there is value in it, that they're avoiding it because they actually truly believe that there's no value, right? So when you have wrong knowledge or like a wrong narrative around the reality that we live in, then you start acting, in a way that's going to create dis-ease because you are living a life pretty much avoidant in a fear cycle versus in alignment. Mm-hmm. Realizing, oh, okay, well, this is sadness. I know according to the yoga philosophies and the Ayurveda, ancient way of living healthy, okay, I'm supposed to feel this and let it pass through me and release it. Mm-hmm. Because the alternative, as we know, the knowledge says in the text, if you store that, it gets it's actually mental amma, emotional amma. Mm-hmm. And then it starts to manifest in the body as plaque, amma.
Yeah. Yep.
And slow the flow down of all the processes of all the channels, mm-hmm. which is going to affect your hormones, mm-hmm. which is really important for sustaining a positive, optimistic mood when things do get hard. You have the resilience, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. It's fine. I mean, this is hard right now, but it's going to work out. Yeah. That optimism is going to get you through life in a much more, literally like lubricating the rough moments.
Yep.
Okay. So 1, avidya, ignorance. 2, raga, which is intense feelings. And I'm just going to keep, I mean, we can, intense feelings. And
I'm curious about this.
Yeah.
This isn't like raga. Familiar to me, this one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if we don't develop the ability to regulate our feelings, mm-hmm. say something happens that is so triggering that we turn red and we want to, all of a sudden, we don't even, some people who commit the most heinous acts in a state of dissociated rage, they don't mm-hmm. even remember doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't remember what they did. They lost control of their feelings. That's really, I think, the essence of what this is loss of control, which is a long-term effect mm-hmm. of bottling.
Totally. Yeah.
That's a ticking time bomb. That's going to be a volcano one day that erupts.
Yeah.
And whoever's standing near that volcano will be burned.
Yeah.
And it's very scary. Being around those types of people, you can like feel they're just so mm-hmm. like
the tension.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh my God, they really need some body work. Like they need some good sex. They need some good body work. They need to get into like a warm bath. They need to just relax and open up the channels and just like mm-hmm. some deep breathing, some pranayama, mm-hmm. yoga, mm-hmm. yin yoga, mm-hmm. restorative yoga. Mm-hmm. Also some counseling, talk it out. Yeah. And also I would even say Svedana or sweating. They need to release.
Yeah. I was going to ask about, I mean, I'm sure it depends on the person and what type of thing is festering and what type of, I know this should be individualized, but I was thinking too, not just yin yoga and calming things, but somebody need to go run or get things out, or dance or sweat or move, like movement of some kind.
Kickboxing.
Mm-hmm. Getting things out. Oh, I can relate to this one all the time. I mean, by the end of the day, I can be like that with my kids, if I've like the losing my temper thing. That can happen if just all day I've been trying to keep it together for everybody or whatever that bottling may be that, mm-hmm. It pops if I'm not managing that and regulating it throughout the day.
The bottling. Yeah. So it's a continual, like the resilience, opening the lid, but also at the same time we're releasing, we also want to build Ojas at the same time.
Right.
So it's a process of ventilating and taking in things that feel good and feel
nourishing.
That's exactly the word. The nourishment. What nourishes us is very unique and individual to us. Like, I think one of the great things that's come out in modern relational science is the 5 love languages. I think that's just giving people a very simplified way of understanding what's nourishing to you might not be nourishing to me. Right. And it's so easy. It's 5. That's why I also love these ancient texts. They break it up into really like
lists.
Itemize. Yeah. Like there's a list. It's 5.
Love a list.
Pancha karma, 5 cleansing detoxes, 5 kleshas, 3 doshas, 5, pancha mahabhutas, 5 elements. So everything is really easy to remember that this way. That's why I think that they grouped them. But yeah, I think it's really important to understand if you're trying to help somebody who is having intense feelings, like for example, being a parent, children who are learning to regulate themselves is one that comes up a lot. And it also puts a mirror up to your own issues.
100%.
And there's no escaping. There's no escaping it.
No.
And like, it's like looking at yourself and you don't want to sometimes. No. You really don't. You're like, I don't want to see that today. I'm not.
No.
But you just don't have a choice when you're a parent. So yeah, intense feelings, when we learn how to live a lifestyle that is conscious of Ojas enhancing practices, like taking ghee every day. It's just one really easy one. It's just like a really easy, like cook with it, put it on your toast, get an herbal ghee that you take in the morning with your, if you are a coffee drinker, which let's face it, America runs on coffee. Most of the world runs on coffee. So yeah, we're on an Ayurveda podcast. We can talk about don't drink coffee, but 2026, who's not drinking coffee right now? Like maybe one day when the science comes out, like incredibly unanimously against it, maybe people will start, but like how cigarettes stopped being cool when everyone was like dying of cancer from like the 80s and 90s. But coffee is still very much like,
totally norm.
It's a mainstay. It's a norm. So if you're going to do that, put some ghee in it, Dave Asprey, the guy who coined the term biohacking, he created this brand called Bulletproof.
Yes.
And that's what Ojas is. You're bulletproofing yourself. That's what your Ojas is. This is not a new, bulletproofing yourself is not a new concept. It's another term. It's like, what is that? But it's like a sexy marketing tagline. I think the word Ojas, though, because it's Sanskrit, it's an energetic word and it carries the essence of what the word means when you say it, which is why I named the practice and the podcast. Like everything, I want this, when you say the word, you're already invoking it within yourself. So Ojas is so important, and that will increase resilience to those intense feelings and the reactivity to those intense feelings.
Slowing down that reactivity to it.
Yeah, slowing it way down, way down. Feeling drained, stressed, or stuck in old patterns? Panchakarma is Ayurveda's ultimate reset, clearing toxins, balancing your doshas, and restoring your vitality from the inside out. At Soham Healing Resort, every detail is designed for your transformation. Personalized therapies, nourishing meals, and deep rest in a serene sanctuary. As an Ojas Oasis listener, you'll receive $500 off your Panchakarma retreat with code OJASOASISPK2025. These retreats book quickly and often far in advance, so don't wait to reserve your place today. Visit sohamhealing.com/panchakarma, and you'll also find the link and code waiting for you in the show notes. If you're studying Ayurveda or want to learn from the most respected teachers in integrative medicine, this is for you. The 2026 NAMA Conference, Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine, is a global virtual gathering to connect ancient and modern medical science. Join a transformative online gathering of Ayurvedic practitioners, integrative medicine providers, herbalists, researchers, scholars, and yoga therapists. Over 3 days, you will engage in dynamic panel discussions and interactive breakout sessions, covering clinical outcomes, emerging research, and how Ayurveda professionals can meet the moment in today's evolving healthcare landscape. Whether you're a seasoned clinician, wellness advocate, or yoga teacher, this conference is your chance to connect, learn, and shape the future of holistic health. Register today at ayurvedanama.org from May 1st to May 3rd, 2026, and secure your spot. Asmita, which is egoism. This is such a common one. Doesn't matter what time we're alive. It's been a theme throughout the history of human history. And did I just say the history of human? Yeah, the history of human history. We do have this tendency to attach our identity to certain things and even to our own demise, our own detriment.
Yeah.
We will be attached to things that give us a sense of self, even if it's a disease. One thing that I think about sometimes, actually think about it a lot, this idea of getting in your own way.
Yeah.
Like the self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of people do subconsciously, because having something you've never had before would threaten the current identity.
Yes. Yes. Do you remember, I'm not going to name any names, but remember there was somebody I referred to you last year and they were like, no. And you were like, they're not ready to not be a sick person.
Yes.
That's the example I'm thinking of. And again, I don't want to name names, but it's like, there's somebody that I thought would really benefit from doing the work with you and going through this process and just reevaluating some things, because there's always been issues in that person's life with health and just constant medical needs. And we're like, okay, take a bigger look at this thing. When there was resistance to going through that, and I talked to you about it, you were like, they're just not ready for that ego death to be better. Like they're attached to this idea of like, I'm this type of person that has these things that I deal with and I need this help. And I wouldn't know how to function as somebody that doesn't need that. Maybe it's attention or who knows? I was like, that's actually a really good way of looking at it. That's like, who would I be if I was not dependent on these things, right? Or if I just if I identified as somebody who had it figured out instead.
I will also say addiction to medical attention is very real.
Yeah, I can't relate to that, but I can understand that.
It's very real. Very, very real. I know people who have all the money in the world and they have all the access to, like, they actually have like 10 concierge doctors. Like they'll have like the private yoga in their home, the private like blood transfusions, or like whatever the other stuff now that people are bringing to your home, and you can just like get your blood drawn and get all the biomarkers. And but they're obsessed with that, and they're obsessed with doing plant ceremonies every weekend.
Yep.
That's become their identity. That's even health, even this obsession with being the most spiritual or the healthiest can become a real obstacle.
Yeah, you're right. I totally know that personality type as well. I'm sure there's a decent amount of that in Austin. I mean, in New York too.
It becomes competitive. And that's also, it's interesting. The ego competes with others. The soul competes with nobody. No one and no thing. The soul very much understands and resides in the yoga, in the oneness, and is so quiet and content in the back, in the way back of our thoughts. And this is, I think meditation is a good prescription for egoism. The practice of separating yourself from your thoughts and you're the person who you are, like when you're public facing out in the world, people, it's like, oh, Sasha, you're the podcast host. You're the Ayurvedic doctor. You did this, this, and this. Erin, you're the mom. You had this career in advertising. You're super smart and know things about tech, and you can do all these operational things. Okay. But all that aside, who are we if we take all that out. Oh, and we're women and we're white. And we're college educated, so all that. We're American, we're speak English. Take all of that out. Then what are we?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So the fact that this word Asmita begins with A tells me that Smita probably means more identification with the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So every time something threatens the ego, you can surrender it. You're like, fine, kill, burn it. Burn that part of me that is attached to thinking that I need to be this person to be lovable, or this person to be attractive, or this person to be successful. Okay, fine. You want to take that from me, universe or God or like karma? Okay, I surrender. Take it. And allowing that to be so for that example that you mentioned about someone who's been very ill a lot of their life or has had a lot of allergies or sensitivities to a lot of different things, if they were to surrender that part of themselves that needs medical attention, that would be a spiritual practice.
Right.
That would be very high level spiritual practice.
Right.
It's not always about how good your down dog is, or like how good you are at pranayama, or if you have a meditation practice. No, it's like applied to real life. Facing the obstacles on the path means remember that the purpose of life is not anything in the 3-dimensional. Nothing here. But we're learning that through the body in the 3-dimensional reality. We're learning it through here. This is a vehicle, sensorially, experientially. And we value this body and this human experience while conscious of the fact that
it means nothing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But if you use it consciously, if you use your time here in this body consciously, it's a different ball game entirely. It's like being in a video game versus knowing you're in a video game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So egoism. Yeah. What are some other good ways to overcome this? Not getting in your own way. Like when you have a goal, I will say doing Sanatam's interview last week was such an honor. Like one of the highlights on the podcast for me was sitting down with my favorite artist and someone who I've been listening to since I began studying Ayurveda, and my most listened to artist in my spot. She means so much to me. So I was really nervous. I get really nervous interviewing people that I respect so much. Not because I don't think I'm going to do a good job, but because I'm like, I need to do justice to meet the moment. Thing. I have to rise to this level of what I feel for this person and match that vibration to be able to produce something that matches the love and respect and admiration I have for them.
Right.
So I'm like summoning that within myself. I'm like, okay, and actually, I prepared questions, but I forgot all of them when I sat down in front of her. I forgot they were all gone. And I remember Yoga Vida, there was a teacher, Dominic, I believe his name. His classes were packed.
I'd kill for a Dom class.
Me too.
God, 4:00 Fridays. Oh.
Always waitlisted, or they were just packed, like mat to mat, like yoga mat to yoga mat, like barely any room in between. You're just side planking into someone's armpit, but you didn't care, and everyone was dripping sweat. Anyway, the point was he had a Dharma talk in the beginning of his class that was talking about how he had someone very well known that he really respected in one of his classes show up. And he gets to class early, like we were taught to do. We were trained to get to class 15 to 20 minutes early. So if anyone has any questions or any injuries, you can give them, you can swap out the poses and give them some other things to do. So he went to the bathroom. When he saw this person walk into his class, he looks in the mirror. He was having a panic attack. How do I teach this person? And then he had a moment of realization. Consciousness came in. His soul spoke to him, and he was like, you're not even the one teaching. You're just channeling the teachings. Don't make it
Right.
about you. You're
Right.
not the one teaching, and I'm not the one teaching. And so that is also a way around egoism, or piercing through that veil is realizing who's the one really doing any of this, right? Like when we are on a dharmic path and when we're doing things with a good intention, which really just means a pure intention,
Right.
how could it possibly not be good if you just let that speak through you instead of
Right.
this need to like perform
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and have it like controlled in some way.
Yes.
So in that way also the word surrender comes again. So it's like surrender the ego if you're sitting down with one of your heroes, or if you're teaching one of your heroes, if you're meet one of them and you're just like, well, like I met John Mackey the other day, the founder of Whole Foods, like a week or two ago in one of Sanatam's kirtans. And I was like, oh my God, there's John Mackey. Oh my God. And I was like, what am I doing?
Right.
This is a man who I respect.
Just a person.
And he's a person. He's done some cool, really amazing things. I feel like I'm doing some pretty amazing things, and I'd just like to literally say hi to him. So he got my card. He got my number. I met his wife. She's into Ayurveda. And that was it. And it wasn't a big deal. But first we have to like, sometimes I think that there's a script that has to run for a second.
Right.
I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And then I'm not going to let that, contaminate the moment. Because if you can let go of the ego and meet the moment, you have actually overcome the obstacle. And that's the point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. Speaking of Yoga Vida, Kat's in town, our friend that we did training with. We're going to go to yoga tomorrow together. And she texted me the link to the class, and I signed up. And then I got an email that was like, hey, make sure you go to the right location. We have a few locations. We're at 99 University. And I was like, what? So it's like it's not the one where we did our training, but it's like we did our training. It's still Yoga Vida. Remember so 99 was on University.
Yeah. That was
the
Union
one really,
Square.
Yeah. That was really close to my apartment.
Yeah.
And then
we did ours in Soho.
Same studio, but just different location. So yeah, that was on Bond Street, but it closed during the pandemic, and now there's I think it's on a different floor. But it will be weird going in that building and going up that elevator where Dom used to teach. And God. So it'll be fun to be back in that building.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
I don't remember. Do you remember what floor the 99 studio was on?
I think we were on the third floor.
I think so too. I think so. Or it was high enough where I remember not taking the stairs for it. Anyway, maybe it'll come back to me tomorrow. I'll just get in the elevator and push and see what happens.
You'll probably remember. Yeah.
Yeah. But how cool, right? We're
so
like, wait,
cool.
Oh my God, we're going back to where we started.
Where it all began.
Yeah. All right. So we just talked about ego. That was number 3.
Egoism. Yeah. Asmita. Number 3. Number 4 is hatred of suffering, or Dvesha.
Hatred of suffering.
Hatred of suffering.
Like avoidance of discomfort, kind of. Or
here's a really good example. Again, this is all, it can be, unless it's really brought into context, I think it's very difficult to understand what these things really mean. Like how does this apply to life? Hatred of suffering. Yeah. So I know someone whose parents were divorced when they were 3 years old, and the father left, and this created such a, obviously, a trauma in their life. And they promised themselves that they would never get divorced. And this actually turned into a fear of divorce.
Sure.
Like a very deep fear of what it would do to potentially their child. Like continuing, because they promised themselves that they would never continue that cycle, never put their child through what his parents put him through. I am not the one to say whether someone should or shouldn't get divorced, but I will say that the primary driver for that decision should not be fear. Just like any other decision in our lives.
Sure.
The fear or hatred of suffering creates this blockage of flow of right action, aligned action. There are so many ways to do divorce differently.
Yeah.
there are so many different ways that can actually look.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to look the way that it did for him when he was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
where he never saw his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like they could co-parent in such a beautiful, sacred way,
Mm-hmm.
where that and the child could even turn out more
resilient or
resilient,
whatever. Yeah.
because each of the parents is happier not living together, not being under the same roof.
Right. And
more regulated.
Yeah.
Versus having two parents under the same roof, dysregulated all the time and absorbing that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not helpful to allow this hatred of suffering to give us a false sense of protection from suffering. Because sometimes the fear of the suffering creates the suffering. It attracts the exact thing that you're afraid of.
Yes. And I think it also doesn't, I think you're doing yourself a disservice by assuming that you can't handle it, that you can't handle that suffering, right? You're like, no way could I possibly survive this thing. No way could I get through this pain or this. You're already starting off telling yourself you're not capable of doing it, right? I think that's something that comes up in parenting a lot too. Parents that try to help their kids avoid suffering and discomfort by protecting them from so much, you're building into them that they're not capable of going through it. You're like, no, don't struggle. Like, let me handle this. Because then you're just already telling them that, like, gosh, I'm going to need somebody else's help to do this.
Yeah. What are they, like a baby bird? Are they like a baby bird with two broken wings? Or do you want them to be a freaking eagle?
Yeah. Yeah. So when you do it to yourself, and listen, it's totally situational, and I can understand how scary things like divorce are. Terrifying. I can totally understand all of that. So there's absolutely no judgment. My point is just that one can do themselves a disservice by assuming that they couldn't do it.
Underestimating one's strength.
Yes. Yeah.
By a long shot. And also the hatred of suffering itself. So some people will ask me, Sasha, if God is real, how could he allow the Holocaust to happen?
Yeah.
So I get this a lot.
Yeah.
I get questions like this because people want to talk to me about spiritual things. They really want to understand my faith. They want to understand the strength of my faith, and they want to probably reconcile their own lack of faith.
Sure.
And be like, well, I don't think I can believe in God when there are babies starving all over the world, and bombs are getting dropped on people all right now, and it's just horrific what's going on in the world at all times. There's always things that are horrifically happening.
Yep.
So the hatred of that creates the obstacle, because we think that only good should be here. We think that only the light should exist in the world, no dark. We should only be happy, not sad, not angry, not anxious, only happy. Okay. If it was only light and only happy, it would actually not exist, because there would be no understanding of what light is.
Right.
Or what happiness is.
There's no contrast,
Without. So we live in a dualistic universe. So with all the beauty, all the new babies being born, the miracles that are happening, people surviving near-death experiences, people waking up out of comas because people around them were praying for them. Miracles happen every day. People get diagnoses and then miraculously recover. Yeah, against all the odds, a lot of amazing things have happened, but we don't focus on those things. We focus on, no, but look at that darkness. It has no place here in this existence. And it's like, well, if you want the good, there would be no good without bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me of this movie. It was a movie, I think in the early 2000s it came out. The movie starts in all black and white. And then everything's perfect and happy. And then people start developing libido and anger and other just like little bugs, and then the color starts to come into the movie. Do you know what movie I'm talking about? Pleasantville.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a great movie to talk about this idea of, if you want a real life, or if you just, it's not even if you want or if you like. This is beyond. This is just the reality. Like, this is just the design.
Yeah, it just is.
And how could God design it this way? Who are we to judge or question? We don't know way more than we could possibly. We're on a rock floating around, and where exactly? And how did this all? I'm sorry. Like, do we really? Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you look, like, go on a plane and look down, you can't see us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know.
So I don't know.
I appreciate that perspective.
Yeah. Like, why are we questioning the design of something that we know so little about, and thinking that our opinion, our hatred of suffering, therefore makes suffering not only not valuable, but wrong.
Right. Shouldn't be here. Yeah.
Should not be here.
Yeah.
Even though we all know that pain is one of the most motivating growth fertilizers.
Yeah.
If pain wasn't there, we wouldn't change a whole lot of things about ourselves, about how we do things. And
yeah, there wouldn't be adaptation.
How would we even have empathy for one another without pain?
Right.
How would we connect with one another without pain?
Yeah.
It creates depth.
And I think when we talk about not necessarily the antidote to that, but the ways to practice moving through that, we've talked through this before too, like practicing micro suffering, like just getting used to the daily discomforts in life and being able to like roll with the little things. And eventually that adds up and you can tolerate more and more discomfort or suffering or pain, whatever that is. But just, there's suffering all around. We can experience discomfort in so many ways. So how can we practice doing that and seeing how we respond to it? I'm just trying to think of how we can talk to working through that and not just saying, don't do this. Like, how can one actually practice it?
How can one practice
moving through that obstacle?
Moving through the obstacle.
Of, when we talk about avoiding suffering or hatred of suffering. So how can one accept suffering? How can one get better at that?
I think actually valuing it. Remember how one time you said, Sasha, one thing that I really have noticed that you do is you actually are able to face an obstacle and actually be like, oh, this is a learning opportunity.
Right.
What can I learn from this versus I'm a victim?
It's a framing.
This. Right. It's but that's all we've got. It's the framing that creates suffering or not. We actually, a lot of our suffering we create. It's self-created.
Oh, yeah. That is hard to reframe one's mind. That takes a lot of practice. And I think people modeling that for you too, right? If you have parents or friends or people around you that are constantly negative or constantly the same way, it's going to be hard for you to be like the only one in the room that's like, let's laugh through this one and let's just take this as an opportunity. It's hard to develop if it's not modeled for you, if it's not taught to you, if it's, it can be hard to change your mind from somebody that has this kind of maybe pessimistic view or avoidant view of things versus somebody that can just like take it. And
that's God's grace, by the way. Sometimes you just get lucky
and
someone comes into your life and lifts the veil up and you're like, oh my gosh, there's another way of being. Sometimes that's a book you come across in school. Sometimes it's a new friend you make from a club that you joined or a new neighbor that moves in nearby. Yeah. Like it's sometimes it's just grace that you get exposure to people outside your bubble who help you see differently. Yeah.
All right. What's the last one?
Number 5, Abhinivesha, which means Abhinivesha, which means attachment to life.
Oh my gosh. I remember talking about this one in training so much.
What do you remember? Yeah.
I just remember being obsessed with the word Abhinivesha. we're like, yes, that's the thing. Oh my God, we all suffer from Abhinivesha. Like, I just remember attributing so much of my suffering to that word around that time, being like, that fucking thing. It makes sense. I get it. I don't expand on what it means more.
Oh gosh, the very I would honestly, what comes to mind for me with this one is a very deep fear of death.
Mm-hmm.
Attachment to life means
Attachment, yeah.
like you're so afraid of dying that you don't even let yourself live it while you're here. You don't let yourself be present because you're so busy creating false control,
Yeah.
false illusions of security in your life so that you don't die. That's literally the primordial one. It's like people are so afraid of losing their job or changing their career, pivoting, moving, starting a new relationship, anything, like anything new, big new life thing, because they're so terrified that they will fail and therefore like end up alone and die. I think it's a very like tribal kind of fear of being cast out of society, and then you're like alone and you can't survive.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to people being in this survival scarcity mode, and but also truly fear of mortality. And yeah, like they don't want to go travel because they're so afraid of getting sick when they travel or something happening to the plane or something. Like it goes on and on. But I think that inability to detach it imprisons people in this very limited experience where they won't leave their bubble. They won't go rock climbing because they're terrified of the harness being broken or whatever. Like that, these are just examples of physical fears. But I mean, any fear will tie back to our mortality at the end of the day. If you trace it all the way to the depths.
If you really follow
you gotta
the line
really
of questioning.
You got to really follow it down the rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
at the bottom of the thing will always come down to, what are we really afraid of? It's the unknown. Death is the ultimate unknown. We don't know what happens after that.
Yeah. The unknown is terrifying to us, for sure.
We are all
as rational.
Yeah,
we're trying to rationalize everything. And that's one thing we absolutely cannot, no matter how we try.
Oh, we will try forever. We will never stop trying. Religion does a great job for some people of rationalizing that. Like, oh, we're going to go to heaven, be with God.
Right.
There's heaven. Okay.
Yeah, there's a solution there. Yeah.
Oh, we'll see them in heaven. Okay,
good. Problem solved.
What exactly is that, though? Like, is it just in the clouds with like the white outfits? You know, like, are we all wearing white, living on the cloud in the sun? I don't know. Like that's the vision, but I think it's so much more brilliant than anything we could ever imagine. And we're not supposed to know,
which we hate. So we're like,
right,
avoid, just make up stuff to avoid it and keep it away.
And I will also say, the clinging to life, I learned once in a class, in one of my Ayurveda classes, the way that maybe I've learned this many of the same lessons come up again from different teachers in different settings, but the theme, the core is the same, which is the way you die is the way you lived. Great example. I can't help but think again about James Van Der Beek and how he died surrounded by friends and family, and how he was talking about the sacredness of time, and he was so present up until the very last breath. And he was so at peace. He was like, this is happening for a reason, but he still held out hope for the miracle that he wouldn't leave, because he knows he doesn't want the people he loves to miss him. Yeah. So he was still praying, and yet he was never afraid. Yeah. So he had a very even though he was in pain. Yeah. Physically, he was at peace at the deeper level, which allowed for him to have a very graceful transition. And we can, all of us, I think, in the Western culture, because we don't talk about death very much, what is not talked about becomes hidden, and that which is hidden becomes scary. And then all of a sudden someone dies and you're like, oh my gosh, someone just someone just died. And you're like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
died? You know,
Yeah.
we don't even know what that even means. What do you mean died? Like they're just not here anymore?
Mm-hmm. It's a wild concept.
It is. Like they were just here. Now they're not. Where do they go? Like, what do you mean? I can't just call them on the phone. So just like in that dual, what I was talking about with like hatred of suffering, how we think we're not supposed to have suffering. We also somehow think we're not supposed to die.
Right. Right.
We've drawn that conclusion too.
Products and yeah. Mm-hmm. We're like, we can slow this down. We can delay this.
We're in control.
Surely.
We got this. Yeah. Like that guy, Brian Johnson, who's trying to say, you can, you know, he's going to be the first human to not die or something.
Oh, like yeah. That guy.
Yeah. That's Abhinivesha right there. In the flesh. In the flesh.
Yeah. I'd say so. No, I have no further comments. It's okay. So how do we practice this one? It's like all this acceptance and surrender and trust and observation and awareness, and comes back to meditation every time, I feel like.
I think, I have said before that practicing death, we've talked about microdosing suffering, microdosing death. Mm-hmm. When something is taken or we lose something, doesn't have to be a person, but let's just talk items.
Right.
The physical stuff. Let it go. Let it be taken. Let it be taken. Let it burn in the karmic fire of our existence. Mm-hmm. Let it, because that resistance, that holding on, isn't going to get it back, and it's going to keep you stuck. And that's supposed to be your dress rehearsal for death. Yeah. That's supposed to get you. It's that repetition of, okay, really, really hard thing pops up in life. You get a really bad call, some bad news, something didn't happen that you thought was going to happen. You're disappointed. Someone does something that just frustrates you and creates a complication or slows your day down, whatever. Like, okay, that's your practice round for death. Okay, breathe, let it go. We're going to have to drop the breath last. That's the last thing that we're going to let go.
Yeah.
So we have to keep working toward that of like, okay, are we ready? Inhale. This is our last one.
Yeah.
And then we transition.
Yeah.
And accepting that it's part of something that we don't know much about is the humbling of the ego.
Yeah. Yes.
And it ties back to the egoism of remember how we are tiny pieces of dust on a ball, and it's so much bigger than us.
And I think the ego is also an effort to rationalize stuff. By labeling things, it helps us make sense and compartmentalize life. To say, I am this, they are that, this is my identity, this is what I associate with, this is how it helps you make sense of everything. And we cling to that. And
I think every time mortality faces us, or we're reminded of it, don't run. Look at it. Look at how beautiful it is that we are here now. And perhaps we wouldn't even have the perspective of how precious life is. Yeah. Without that understanding that it's not permanent. So, wow, this is a temporary gift. We have no idea what this thing really is, where it came from. There's just no way to truly know the truth, being what we are, which is tiny specks of it. So the humbling and the humility is just really important, and let yourself be small. But by the way, you can be big too. Sometimes you can like let yourself take up space and be big and like lead your life. But sometimes you can let yourself just be the small little thing. Blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things. But what a beautiful little blimp it was, right? If we do enough good, if we help enough people, if we love we're good friends, if we're, contributing something, that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some relief in that. Letting yourself just be that, not having to like cling to taking up as much space as you could and have all the things that you possibly could, really get your nails in. Yeah. To not have to do that is somewhat of that makes me feel a little bit relieved.
Ram Dass, this is the last thing I'll say, and then we can sign off on this one. But Ram Dass was a spiritual teacher who passed away recently, and he said that death is like taking off a tight shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It can be that beautiful to transition out of the body. So let yourself have a beautiful life, and don't be, in that way, when death comes, you're ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. That's a sweet quote. A little tangential. Have you seen Hamnet?
No.
Oh, speaking
is
of
that a
death.
show or a
what?
movie?
Oh my God, Sasha!
What
it's
is Hamnet?
A movie, Oscar nominated.
Okay.
It's a couple things that we've talked about made me think of it. It's about the extremely, extremely sad movie. It's about the death of Shakespeare's son, which inspired him to write Hamlet. And so it's all about that, and it's just gut-wrenching sad, but it's a lot about death, and it's a fascinating look at it, and it's beautiful, but it's heart-wrenching. But also the director, Chloe Zhao, she's an amazing person. She's won some best director stuff, but she is training to be a death doula as well. And so I listened to a podcast where she was talking about that, and she was the one that gave me this kind of thought about how we're such rational people, and so we're afraid of death because it's this mystical thing. And anyway, so it's a gorgeous movie, and the director has this really, really interesting perspective on death, because it's a really sad thing, but there's tons of beauty that comes out of it as well. So fascinating movie and fascinating interview that she did. I think it was the New York Times, but anyway, yeah, you should see it. Oscars are on Sunday, so that's what made me think.
The most beautiful art, I will also say, is made out of the pain.
Yeah.
The dualism.
Yeah. All right. Well, we visited those 5 things.
The Pancha Kleshas. And some ways of facing those obstacles. And where Ayurveda fits into all of this is, of course, like we talked a bit about Ojas and how that resilience is so important for everything, and also how humility is really important so that you can learn knowledge.
Yeah.
First, you have to admit you don't know something in order to know. And it's okay that you didn't know then. You did the best you could at that time with what you knew, what you thought you knew. Now you know something else, and you can apply that knowledge to your future karmas or actions. Karma also means action. So the best we can all do is what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And this knowledge finds you when you're ready, when your karma is ripe. Because knowledge is a blessing. It's a wealth code.
Yes, it is.
It's an abundance code. And that's really, I think, also why this podcast, we enjoy doing this so much, I think, because it reminds us that we are still students. We are still learning. We are still practicing. We humble ourselves with this because we think about our own lives and moments where we can keep polishing the mirror.
Yeah.
It's a great reminder. All of us are here together. It's a very, very, very fast trip. And some days feel really long. But
yes.
It's like the days are long and the years are short now. Type of vibe. But yeah, may we all live gracefully and die gracefully. I think that's my prayer for all of us, is learning how to look at these things, life and death, and suffering, and art, and just this whole spectrum, and just be like, all right, well, okay, and so it is. You know what I mean? And
right.
So it is. Like,
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Not judge it.
No.
Or
let
have
it.
feelings about it. Just let it. Yeah.
I think that's also why Mel Robbins' book did so well.
She did.
Let
yes,
them.
that whole thing. Yeah. But it's
she's talking about yoga philosophy.
Yeah.
A modern way of talking about detachment.
Totally. Well, okay, we'll talk next week, probably. I think you may be having some other chats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
We're gonna have. Brooke.
Yay.
I will wait to introduce her until I actually have the episode with her. But yeah, we've got that one coming up. I also think I'm going to be having my friend Neil come on, who has a cacao lounge right next door to my place. He's also a great friend, great conscious entrepreneur, very dharmic, loves Ayurveda. He's from India too. His dad and I want to actually collaborate on an Ayurvedic skincare line.
Great. Oh, cool.
That I can carry in the clinic.
Great.
An XS, what is it called? SXSW, South by Southwest.
Yeah.
That's happening right now in Austin. So there's just all these really cool things going
happenings.
on.
Yeah.
So many cool happenings and things to learn. And just, there's just, like I said, Austin is a beautiful honeypot for people that are like, how do we do good things for the world and make it into a business? Like
a lot of creative minds for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad. It seems like you're in the right place right now.
You have to visit soon.
Oh, I know. I got to get my head above water, but I do. I know. Amazing.
As soon as you're ready.
What are you doing the rest of the day?
I have a dinner at my neighbor's later tonight, and the rest of the day I have a report of findings that I would like to complete before tomorrow. And I also have to write and record the intro for this episode that comes out Monday. So those are the things: report of findings, intro for the pod, and then I already went to yoga this morning, so I don't have to do that. But yeah, dinner tonight at 6:30. So that's like in 3 hours.
Fun. Well, I'll let you know how the new Yoga Vita is.
Oh my
whatever
gosh.
is there.
That's going to be so.
I know. What a trip.
Whoa. When are you going?
Tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Kat's here for the week. She's here with her daughter and husband. So, little Lottie.
I never even met her. Haven't met Lottie yet.
Oh, she's a doll. You can imagine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you. This is a great chat. Love going back
really
to
good.
the basics as always. And I love the Bob mention and the Dom mention and all the Yoga Vita throwbacks.
Yes. That's because that's our roots. That's where it began for us. So
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go hang out with my kid.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Before you go, if you're ready to dive deeper into your healing, check the show notes to book a 45-minute exploratory call with me. If you mention you're a subscriber of the podcast, you'll get 50% off your initial intake consultation. A 2-hour deep dive, normally $400, now just $200. You'll also find exclusive 20% discounts on trusted Ayurvedic herbs from Kerala Ayurveda and Gary & Son. Just click the links to apply the savings automatically. Ojas Oasis is a labor of love, a podcast born from a deep desire to share the timeless wisdom of Ayurveda, Vedic ritual, and holistic healing with seekers around the world. Every episode is carefully crafted to bring you inspiring conversations, ancient insights, and practical tools for living a radiant, balanced life. If the show has nourished your spirit, helped you feel more seen, or guided you on your healing path, you can now support our work by buying us a coffee or golden milk. Your support goes directly toward producing high-quality episodes, keeping the podcast ad-light and mission-focused, expanding our offerings to serve you even more deeply, and whether it's a one-time cup or a monthly offering, we are so grateful. Click the link in the show notes to support the podcast and keep the wisdom flowing.